Since Pawn Stars premiered on the History Channel in 2009, the series has attracted millions of loyal viewers who tuned in week after week. Featuring 3 generations of the Harrison family, alongside fan favorite Chumlee Russell, the show blended family dynamics, expert knowledge, and celebrity appearances into what quickly became a television classic. One of the most memorable recurring experts was Rebecca Romney, a specialist in vintage and rare books. Her on-screen presence was both engaging and informative, and she became a familiar face to viewers through numerous appearances. Because of her frequent contributions, fans were genuinely surprised when Romney suddenly stopped appearing on the show. Given the well-publicized tragedies involving other cast members, many viewers grew concerned about her well-being. This raises the question, what really happened to Rebecca Romney? And where is she now? While audiences are well acquainted with the backgrounds of the Harrisons and Chumlee, far less is known about the guest experts. Over time, however, viewers developed strong attachments to experts like Romney, individuals who often helped save deals for customers, clarified high-stakes appraisals, and elevated the credibility of the shop itself. Naturally, fans wanted to know more about her life beyond the camera. After some digging, it was revealed that Rebecca Romney was born and raised in the Las Vegas area. Although she always loved books, her career path did not begin in the rare book world. In fact, her first job was as a swimming instructor. By her own admission, she entered the rare book trade almost by accident. During high school, Romney studied French and Japanese, later expanding her academic pursuits to include ancient Greek and Latin. She earned a Bachelor of Arts in Classical Studies and Linguistics before entering the rare book industry in 2007. That same year, she began working at Bauman Rare Books in Las Vegas, just as the company was opening a new location there. This position gave her extraordinary access to rare books, manuscripts, and historical documents, opportunities she likely would not have had elsewhere in the industry. In a fan Q&A, Romney explained that Bauman Rare Books was the driving force behind her success. Based in Philadelphia and New York and operating for decades, the company employs full-time specialists whose sole job is acquiring rare books. Romney managed the company's Las Vegas gallery, focusing primarily on selling rare books rather than offering outside consulting services. Her rapid rise was impressive. Just 3 years after joining the company, she became a manager in 2010. It was during this period that she was invited to contribute to Pawn Stars. Her first on-screen appearance came in 2011, by which time the show was already in its 4th season. Romney's involvement with the series wasn't accidental. Pawn Stars itself had a long journey before reaching television. Rick Harrison and his late father, Richard the Old Man Harrison, opened the gold and silver pawn shop in 1989, when Rick was just 23 years old. Rick believed early on that television exposure could transform the business, especially after the shop appeared on TV in 2001, and later in a 2003 episode of Insomniac with Dave Attell. Despite these appearances, it took 4 years before any producers were willing to invest in Rick's vision. That changed when a 2001 PBS documentary about family-owned pawn businesses, featuring the gold and silver pawn shop, caught the attention of the right people. Producers Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines of Left Field Pictures saw potential during a visit to Las Vegas in 2008, and the concept finally came to life. The shop, located less than 2 miles from the Las Vegas Strip, became the setting for the series. Originally titled Pawning History, the show was renamed Pawn Stars due to its memorable wordplay. Filmed on location, the series followed real customers bringing in old or unusual items for appraisal or sale. Jewelry was and remains the most commonly presented item, and each episode included detailed explanations of historical objects, often provided by Rick or his father. When staff members encountered items beyond their expertise, guest specialists were called in. This on-camera expert appraisal was a relatively new concept at the time, and it proved to be a game-changer. The inclusion of professionals like Rebecca Romney added credibility, authenticity, and depth to the show, helping Pawn Stars stand out and earn lasting trust from its audience. The addition of professional appraisers helped elevate the pawn shop's credibility even further. Experts were able to determine an item's authenticity, estimate its market value, and factor in restoration costs when necessary before a final appraisal was given. This is where Rebecca Romney became an essential part of the show. Although Pawn Stars featured many guest experts, Romney stood out, and for good reason. She and Rick Harrison already knew each other before the show ever existed. Their prior acquaintance eventually developed into a genuine friendship once filming began. Romney later explained that they had even double-dated together, though that closeness grew only after spending time working on the show. She also revealed that she occasionally provided behind-the-scenes consulting for Rick. However, most of her appearances were tied directly to filming schedules. Depending on the availability of rare books, she might be called in as often as 3 times a week, or as rarely as once a month. Whenever a noteworthy book arrived at the shop, Romney was informed ahead of time about the item, though she often didn't see it until she stepped onto the set and the cameras started rolling. In the unpredictable world of television, things didn't always go as planned. Sometimes the item waiting for her wasn't exactly what she had been briefed on. Romney openly acknowledged the limits of even the most seasoned expert, explaining that while there are millions of books in existence, no specialist can instantly recall every bibliographic detail. What truly defines expertise, she noted, is knowing where to find reliable, authoritative information when needed. Despite her regular appearances, Romney was never an employee of the show. As she explained, she ran a rare book gallery full-time and couldn't simply drop everything whenever filming was scheduled. That balance between her professional career and television appearances made her contributions even more impressive. Romney's work on Pawn Stars gave viewers a rare glimpse into the specialized world of buying and selling valuable books. She was responsible for evaluating the volumes customers brought into the shop, combining deep knowledge with a trained eye for detail. This unique skill set made her one of the longest-running experts on the series. Notably, she was also the only female expert to maintain such a consistent presence, earning her a loyal fan base among antique book enthusiasts. At one point, however, Pawn Stars found itself at the center of a major controversy that threatened the show's credibility. Allegations began circulating that the series was entirely staged. These claims gained traction after a man came forward, stating he had appeared as an extra and wanted to reveal what filming was really like. According to his account, he and a friend had been visiting the shop as tourists when his friend decided to purchase a Cartier watch. A staff member informed them that a segment was about to be filmed and asked if they would like to participate as extras. They agreed. The scene involved Chum Lee and another staff member evaluating a piece of fused sand from a nuclear test site. Everyone except a dozen selected extras was asked to leave the store. The extras were instructed to stay quiet, avoid looking at the camera, and casually browse the cases as if they were regular customers. The filming process took nearly an hour, even though the final segment aired for only about 5 minutes. Several scenes were reshot, including parts of the negotiation. A museum expert was also brought in to authenticate the item. While some moments were repeated for clarity, the man noted that the interactions didn't appear heavily scripted. The seller ultimately chose not to sell the item, though she hadn't simply walked in that day. This first-hand account helped clarify a common misunderstanding. Items don't appear on the show spontaneously. pawnbrokers first identify unique objects and present them to producers, who then decide whether they're suitable for television. Because filming requires planning, sellers are often asked to return at a later time. Since most participants are everyday people appearing on camera for the first time, nervousness can lead to multiple takes. In rare cases, segments are scrapped entirely if a seller can't perform comfortably on camera. Executive producer Brent Montgomery later confirmed that sellers are vetted in advance. The production team ensures participants are genuinely interested in selling their items at realistic prices, rather than simply seeking television exposure. Romney also addressed the staging rumors directly when fans questioned her. She emphasized that the shop remains a fully functioning pawn business. While a large portion of the space is now devoted to merchandise, real pawns and sales still take place daily. She stated clearly that she had never participated in an expert scene where either the seller or the item was planted. For most viewers, those explanations were enough to put the controversy to rest. At the height of its success, Pawn Stars became the History Channel's highest-rated series, drawing in millions of viewers. It ranked among the most-watched programs in the network's history, and its popularity was so overwhelming that episodes originally planned as short segments expanded into nearly hour-long broadcasts filled with educational content. The formula worked exceptionally well. Celebrities such as Bob Dylan, Phil Collins, Steve Carell, and many others appeared on the show, further cementing its mainstream appeal. The impact extended beyond television fame. The Gold and Silver Pawn Shop and its staff were awarded Pawnbroker of the Year by the National Pawnbrokers Association for elevating the industry's image and bringing it unprecedented recognition. The show's influence was so significant that the Clark County Commission officially declared July 17th as Pawn Stars Gold and Silver Pawn Day. With success came enormous fame for the cast members, turning them into reality TV celebrities and delivering substantial financial rewards. However, the journey was not without hardship. Over the years, several troubling events cast a shadow over the show's legacy. Chum Lee, one of the most beloved figures on Pawn Stars, was known for his humor and distinctive personality, which added a lighter tone to the series. But in 2016, his public image was shaken when he faced serious legal trouble. He was accused of sexual assault, and during a search of his home related to the investigation, authorities discovered illegal drugs and a firearm. Chum Lee was arrested and charged with 19 drug-related offenses and 1 weapons charge, with bail set at more than $60,000. Months later, he reached a plea agreement with prosecutors that allowed him to avoid jail time. The outcome was influenced by the fact that the sexual assault allegation lacked supporting evidence, even after a thorough investigation. Tragedy struck again in 2018 when Richard "the Old Man" Harrison passed away at the age of 77 after battling Parkinson's disease. Rick Harrison announced the loss on social media, calling his father his hero and expressing gratitude for having shared him with millions of viewers who came to see what a devoted family man he truly was. More legal trouble followed years later. In September 2023, Corey Harrison was arrested for driving under the influence after his truck reportedly drifted into a bicycle lane in the early morning hours. Officers noted signs of intoxication, including bloodshot eyes and the smell of alcohol, and he failed a field sobriety test. Yet even that incident was overshadowed by a devastating loss for Rick Harrison's family. In January 2024, Corey's brother, Adam Harrison, was found unresponsive in a guest house after not being seen for several days. Rick later confirmed that Adam died from a fentanyl overdose, using the moment to call attention to the growing drug crisis and urging that it be taken more seriously. These tragedies caused fans to grow increasingly concerned about Rebecca Romney, whose appearances on Pawn Stars had become less frequent. The reason, however, was not scandal or misfortune. In 2016, Romney married her husband, J.P. Romney, becoming related by marriage to former presidential candidate Mitt Romney. Following the wedding, she relocated to Philadelphia to work at Bauman Rare Books, where her husband is from. There, she managed the company's central operations, oversaw major library acquisitions, and supervised catalog production. As her public profile grew, fans asked how she handled the attention she received from viewers. Romney admitted that fame brought frustration, especially when people focused solely on her appearance rather than her expertise. Still, she emphasized that respect should always come first, and noted that her husband found the attention humorous rather than troubling. After stepping away from regular television appearances, Romney continued expanding her career in the rare book world. She joined another firm, Honey and Wax, and in 2016 launched a book-focused podcast with her husband titled Biblio Club, which ran for about a year. In 2017, the couple co-authored a book together, Printer's Error: Irreverent Stories from Book History. In 2019, Romney left Honey and Wax, and in 2020, founded her own rare book company. Today, she resides in Washington, D.C., continuing her work independently. Though she is no longer a regular presence on Pawn Stars, Rebecca Romney remains closely associated with the show through reruns, YouTube clips, and shorts, ensuring her legacy as one of the most respected experts ever to appear on the series.